Hi and welcome to my Facebook Live this morning. Today I thought I would kind of talk through my two kind of tips to help make you feel more productive so you can get the most out of your day. For me, this is really important today. It's my first full day of childcare. When I say full day, it's a school day, 9 till 3. So it's the first time I've had a day completely to focus on my business for more than I can remember. So last night I was sat there feeling a bit overwhelmed and kind of didn't really know exactly how I was going to make the best use of the time that I've got today. So I just took some time out to start thinking about what I needed to achieve out of the day. So that this morning, first thing I did was I sat down and I made myself a to-do list and a plan. And part of that was looking over the next week or so of what's coming up so that I can prioritise what needs doing and when it needs doing. So I'm starting to not only think about what I need to do today, but also thinking about kind of what that then means for sort of the other days in the next week or so. So I've now got myself a comprehensive to-do list in my Stop the Flitter diary so that I can work through that and kind of have a sense of direction. So I set myself priorities because a to-do list is great, but if it isn't linked in with what you've got planned over the next few weeks, so if you just do it in isolation for today without any consideration of the rest of the time, it's going to be really difficult to then kind of feel like you're making progress long term. So keys are to sit down and look at your to-do list for today in the context of everything else that you've got going on and prioritise. Make those deals with yourself around this really has to get done before I can have that first cup of tea. This needs to get done before I can go and have a bit of time out to myself tonight, and kind of these are the things that I really cannot sleep before I get done. These are the stuff that actually it's okay if I leave that until tomorrow, or I leave it until next week, so that you can kind of give yourself a bit of a break as well. So planning, prioritising, and then really important is actually ticking those things off your to-do list. That's why I love having a handwritten to-do list, and because you can't beat that feeling of actually putting a line through it or giving it a tick. And there is kind of neurological evidence of the fact that our brains respond really well to that happening as well. So really do not underestimate the power of giving yourself that tick or that line, whichever it is that works for you. And to the point where I now do sit and if I've done things that I hadn't put down on my to-do list, so as the day had gone on, I suddenly realised something else needed doing that I'd forgotten to put down on my to-do list, I actually then write it down so that I can tick it off. And that process really starts to build our belief in ourselves, and that sense of control, that sense that actually we are in the driving seat, we know what we're doing and we are being productive. Because quite often when I see people that say, I'm not doing anything with my time, I'm feeling in a complete fluster, I'm flittering all over the place. When we actually then sit down and say, okay, tell me what you've actually done with your time in the last day, in the last couple of weeks, they kind of amaze themselves that, blimey, actually, I am doing a lot. So even if, and then kind of also by writing down the to-do list of the things that remain to be done, it feels much less like a huge monster. I remember one of my clients really resisted for quite a long time writing down the to-do list so that we could then go through and prioritise together. Just saying, it's so big I can't even think. I don't even know where to start with it. So with a bit of challenging from me, we sat down and we kind of got there, and she kind of you could literally see the weight lifting off her shoulders. She's like, actually, do you know what? It's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. It's nowhere near as insurmountable as I thought. So really kind of take that time each day to get those to-do lists down, update them, prioritise, and then as you go through, give yourself a tick. And if you're having a day where you're really questioning, what am I doing? Where's all my time going? Go back and look at the things that you've achieved, because that will remind you and show you that actually you are doing stuff. And I think we just had a little bit of a blip there. So just in case it went fuzzy, I was just saying, the going back and looking at your to-do lists, which is why one of the reasons why I have them in my in the Stop the Flitter diary, so that you can look back over time at the things that you've achieved each week, so you can remind yourself you're doing great, and there's still stuff to do, but you are kind of heading in the right direction. So I hope that's helped, and that you can go forward and have a productive day with your planning, prioritising, and then coming back and giving yourself the ticks or the crosses through of what you've done. So I'm now off to plough through my to-do list before I can get myself a cuppa. Okay, take care and we'll catch up soon. Bye for now.